Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be sponsored by what is the name of this stuff? Greenfin. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I'm super nervous to make this video because I haven't done an update on my dating life in quite some time, so I'm going to be filling you in on my current dating sitch. And I might have to drink a couple times throughout the video, so please forgive me because it's just going to take the edge off just a little bit. Quite frankly, I'm a little nervous to tell some of you about this, and I'm hoping that the vast majority of you that follow me on this channel support me and love me and can kind of just roll with the story here. The reason why I wanted to tell you this is I was looking for ideas actually because I love doing more lifestyle stuff. It's not really a beauty channel, it's not really a lifestyle channel, it's not really a fashion or lifestyle vlog channel. It's kind of a mixture of everything, which is kind of like my personality. I just give you a little bit of everything. So I wanted to incorporate more of the lifestyle type stories, and to be honest with you, when I was looking through my stuff and what's popular, the lifestyle stuff, you guys, is the most popular. Like my Trader Joe's videos get the most views, and I will link my previous dating story. It was Adventures in Tinder Dating, and then I changed it to Adventures in Dating. I will link that video because that's kind of what inspired me to do a little update. That video has garnished over like almost 50,000 views. And apparently, you guys love hearing about my troubled dating life, which is really mean. But I get it. Misery loves company. People love hearing about other people's twisted dating tales. Like I totally get you. So I wanted to do an update on my dating situation, but I was nervous because number one, I was certain that the guy that I broke up with was following me on a vast majority of social media, and I didn't want him to see it because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not a malicious person. I'm very genuine and sweet, and I didn't want him to get upset by seeing it, even though he deserved it. And I didn't want to be bothered with him thinking I was going to make a video about him. Then, like I mentioned, when I was kind of going through my videos, I was like, Rachel, just give the people what they want. They want to hear about your horrible dating life. Give the people what they want. My friend was like, did you do an update on this person? And I was like, no, I don't really think I'm going to do it. And they were like, why not? With everything you've been through, with being catfished and everything, like this is retribution. Like you need to tell the story just for every person that's ever been catfished before. So like I said, I wasn't going to tell the story because I didn't want him to see it. But it's been a couple months now. I don't think he follows me on social media anymore. Hopefully he's moved on with his philandering ways, and he won't see this. And the second thing is that I didn't want to be judged because, you know, a lot of you had asked, you knew I was dating somebody in New York, and then I wasn't anymore. And a lot of you were like, what happened? And I was like, oh, well, I found him on a dating site. And I had said that, like, you know, one of my friends in New York caught him on a dating site, and then I found out and I broke up with him. But that's not really what happened. That is the short Cliff Notes version because I didn't want to get into the nitty-gritty details of it, but I will. I'm going to. So if you're interested, just stay tuned and let's get into the video. This one I'm going to entitle The Silver Lining, because Silver is his last name. And I know Silver is a pretty common last name, but I won't mention his first name. The people that know me already know who he is. Those of you who don't know him, it will stay that way. That's my style. I don't like calling anybody out on it. And again, hopefully he doesn't see this, but if he does, sorry, you're a cheater and you deserve to be caught. So basically I met somebody on Plenty of Fish. I decided to do Plenty of Fish just because a lot of people had said like it was a good dating site. My friend had met her like long-term boyfriend on there. So I decided to go on and give it a try, and at the time, just to kind of put you in the mindset I was in, I wasn't really looking for anything serious, which is weird because I also don't want anything casual either. I've never really been into just the hooking up thing. But I figured like I didn't want to cut myself completely off to dating, but I did have some sort of idea that I was going to be moving to California at the beginning of the year. So So part of me was like, maybe you shouldn't go on dating sites because you know you're gonna be moving and that's unfair. The other part of me was just like, let's just see what happens. You know, if things get serious, you can let them know where your head's at and that you might be moving. It wasn't even 100% yet, you guys. So, you know, I kind of just wanted to put my feelers out, but I wasn't like dead set on getting a boyfriend either. So I met this guy on Plenty of Fish. He was super sweet, super smart, super charismatic. I met him in the city. We went on a couple of dates, and I think one of the dates I got a little drunk, and I had mentioned I wanted to kind of be forthright with him since things were starting to, you know, go well, and I had a little crush on him. We were kind of like vibing on each other, and I mentioned that like I might possibly be moving. He's like, oh, that's awesome. I said, I think I phrased it, I might be doing some long-term traveling, and he's like, oh really? Cool, I love traveling. Where are you going? I said, actually, I might be moving across the country to California, and I just wanted to be honest with you, just in case, you know, things get more serious, and I didn't want to, you know, be misleading or deceitful about the whole thing. So he was like, no. He's like, that's totally cool. I don't know if I told you, but I'm from California. So I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah, I'm actually from San Diego. I'm like, that's awesome. How do you like it in Southern California? This guy was totally into like the whole SoCal thing. He's like, I lived, you know, I was raised in San Diego, but then I was in Orange County. He's like, I actually only moved to New York last year. And he's like, I'm definitely going to be moving back there soon, you know, or eventually. He's like, so it doesn't bother me that you might be moving there. I'm like, great, okay. Kept going on some dates, traveling a lot for work, so I didn't see him that often. Maybe we'd see each other once a week. I would have liked it for it to be a little bit more than that, but he did live in the city. I was living on Long Island at the time. It was about an hour commute. So I was pretty honest with myself that I wasn't going to see him a lot anyway, just because of the distance that we lived apart. So we were kind of just taking things slow, having fun. Whatever, you know, it starts getting into the holiday time. I invited him over to my house for the holidays. He declined. He said he thought it was too soon to meet family. Fine, I was okay with that. And then things right after or around like Thanksgiving, Christmas time, I think I started to catch some feelings, and I was just like, hey, we had a serious conversation. I was like, we don't see each other too often. You travel a lot. You know, I'm starting to catch feelings when we do hang out. Before things get more serious, maybe we should just kind of end things here. I think you're a great guy. You think I'm a great girl. Like, maybe we just part ways here. That way there's no hard feelings. It doesn't get too difficult. Because at this point, it was confirmed that I'd be moving to Los Angeles come January, and I just thought it'd be easier just to kind of end things there. So we had this serious talk, like an hour talk, and he was like, no, Rachel, I'm really into you. I really like you. I don't think we should end things. Look, I'm going to be traveling to California a lot for business. I'm going to be able to see you, and then, you know, maybe I'll move back in the next 6 months. Like, maybe if things continue going the way they are, like, I'll move back sooner. So he, in retrospect, I'm looking back, like, he's the one that talked me out of breaking up with him or breaking things off with him. He was just so confident in our relationship or where things were headed that he convinced me, reluctantly, because I just know that the long distance thing isn't for me, it's for some people. I know myself. It's not that I would have thought that I would have like wanted to see other people. I just know that like things kind of get, you know, weird when you're long distance. I want someone who's close and local that I could see at my disposal. I don't want to have to work to see my partner. I moved to California. Within a week and a half of being here, he flies in and he was here for a month. He was doing a lot of business related things. He was, you know, traveling to San Diego, San Francisco. He was in Orange County. And throughout this month, though, I saw him a couple of times. It was great. We had a lot of fun. He took me to a lot of restaurants in my area. It was really nice. We were kind of like exploring my area together. And then the one thing that I thought was pretty promising is, if you remember, he had told me he didn't want to kind of like meet with family around the holidays. He thought it was too soon, and I was like, okay. And then right before he left California in February to go back to New York, he asked me if I would like to have dinner with his family for his birthday. And I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. Like, he's, you know, told me that there's very few girls who have met his parents. So we had a great dinner. I loved his parents. They loved me. It was a lot of fun. We went to Home right in Los Feliz, which is like one of my favorite restaurants. Everything was great. I drop him off at the airport the next day, he flies back to New York, and then it's back to him like being in New York and me being in California. So I started to get, it was about a month and a half in, I started to miss him, and I was like, maybe I can fly to see you, or maybe you can come here again. I'm like really starting to feel the distance thing, and I started second guessing the relationship again. And it's not that I didn't care for him, I just didn't see it going well if it continued with this long distance thing. So he starts giving me all these false promises, empty promises, that he's gonna be moving back shortly, and he's taking a trip to Las Vegas for business, and after his Las Vegas trip, he's gonna come see me and we can start looking at apartments. Not the two of us, but he wanted to move to like Manhattan Beach area, and he's like, I'm gonna be moving back probably before the end of the summer. He's like, I really care about you, and I just can't see my life without you. Like, I think you're amazing. Like, there's just no girl that I've ever met that has like your personality and like warmth and radiance and just feel good vibes. Like, I was like, this guy's a sweetheart, I can't end things. Like, okay, fine, let's weather the storm, let's ride it out. And you know what? During this time, it was a really rough time for me. If you watched my Catfished Again in LA video about trying to find employment here, it was really rough. And this guy was kind of like my rock. I would talk to him pretty much every day, whether we were texting or FaceTiming or just on the phone. He was just encouraging me and like my support, trying to connect me to some of his contacts here in Southern California. So I really felt this like kinship towards him, like this bond. And I was like, you know, this isn't just physical, this guy really cares about me, cares about my well-being, cares about my success and getting myself set up here. So I was, you know, even though I was starting to feel the effects of a long-distance relationship, I still felt that this was worth continuing or worth fighting for. And then it takes a turn. So right around the time that I start second-guessing things with this guy, I, you know, started feeling like, and I think my friends, to be honest with you, my friends and my family started putting ideas in my head because, you know, I was pretty depressed, I wasn't going out here, and a lot of my friends are like, oh, you're going on dates there? And I'm like, what do you mean am I going on dates here? No, I'm dating somebody in New York. They're like, yeah, but he's not around. And I'm like, okay, that's called cheating. Like, no. I'm dating somebody, I'm loyal to them, so I was staying in and not seeing anybody. I kid you not, I was not on any dating sites. I was not out looking for guys. I was just kind of like shut myself in here. I was pretty depressed about like the employment front and not being able to have a job. I had no money. I had blew through almost all of my savings. So it was a pretty rough, rocky times. And like I said, this guy was there for me throughout everything. Like, I really felt like this is kind of what a relationship is all about, supporting each other. I was very steadfast and very loyal throughout the time that I was here alone and he was back in New York. But I think people started saying like, oh, what if he's out in New York doing his thing? And I'm like, no, you guys don't know him, he's not like that. And they're like, but what if he is? And I'm like, but he's not. Like, I talk to him every day. They're like, Rachel, you don't know that he's not going out on dates. And I'm like, why would you be with somebody cross-country and make it this difficult? And they're like, well, because a lot of people want their cake and eat it too. He probably wants you there when he comes back to California, but he's probably doing his thing in New York. And I'm like, so I started getting like a couple of glimpses that he could be this guy that they were describing, because he was an entrepreneur and they had started a bra company, and I remember him saying they were at a shoot with models. I by no means characterize myself as a jealous girl. I'm never gonna be the kind of girlfriend that checks your phone or needs to check up on you. If I'm with you, I trust you, and if you prove otherwise, then that's on you, and then we'll deal with it accordingly. But I'm not gonna be the paranoid, jealous girlfriend. That's just not a suit I ever wanna take on. I think it's unbecoming. So I just was not checking up on him at all. But I did notice that he was very excited whenever they were gonna be doing like a lingerie shoot with these models for this bra company, that he got very excited and he was telling me that like, oh, I'm gonna invite my friends there, they would love to be there. And I'm like, okay, this isn't a circus. If this is a business thing, why are you getting all excited that it's gonna be like models and lingerie? So I was just like, okay, it made me kind of like pause because I'd never seen that side of him. And I was like, I'm not going to be jealous. If he's telling me about it, he obviously has nothing to hide. But I did notice that he was a little too excited, a little too enthusiastic about some of these models that he was working with. Then when he went back to New York, they had already finished this professional photo shoot for the bra company, and he told me one day that they invited models over for a private shoot on his penthouse balcony, and I'm thinking like, okay, you already did this shoot here in Orange County. Why do you need to do a private one on your balcony? It makes me a little uncomfortable. I'm not a jealous person like I mentioned, but it makes me a little uncomfortable that you have models traipsing in and out of your apartment. Like, I don't have guys here like modeling Speedos. Why do you have models, you know, modeling lingerie on your penthouse balcony when you already did the shoot? The shoot is over and done with. You have the shots you need. It almost seemed like he was looking for excuses just to kind of like immerse himself in that world. Fine, I don't think anything of it. I say, okay, glad you got the shots you needed, and that was that. Then people started putting thoughts in my head, and when people put thoughts in my head, they grew slowly, only because it was coupled with the other things I had noticed. So I decided to do a little research. People had said like, just do your research, maybe you'll find him on other dating sites. I'm like, there's no way in hell. But then secretly I was like, okay, I don't want to look like the fool. People are telling me he might be out and about and doing his own thing in New York. So I decided to do a little research. It was a Friday night, I was in for the night, and I was like, let mama do some research. So I start typing in, and if you guys don't know what a reverse image search is, it's basically you put in a picture of someone and it will spit out anywhere that that photo is used. So I decided instead of having to do all the dirty work of trying to locate him on any dating site, I just put in an image that he used for everything. He used it as his Facebook profile, he used it for his LinkedIn image, for his like plenty of fish photo. I knew that this guy thought he looked slamming in this picture, and so naturally if he's going to be on another dating site, he's going to use the same photo. So I put that photo into a reverse Google image search just to check up on him, make sure everything's kosher, and lo and behold, a plenty of fish profile pops up. I'm like, peculiar.